why they're in New Orleans. So who knows who Irma Thomas is?
Irma Thomas.
Every little bit hurts. Okay, so this is Irma Thomas.
Legend of New Orleans.
All the pictures are taken against the walls. I'll leave it out here.
Rufus Thomas's dog.
Anyhow, so here's what Irma had to say. Singer, Grammy Award winner, soul queen of New Orleans, New Orleans. The day I graduated from college in 2001, I thought it would never happen. It took me 15 years to go through 2 years of college because I was an entertainer, catching classes when I could. That day the band played a song which I sang, I Believe I Can Fly. You know how sometimes something like a light bulb comes on and says, actually happened to you. Well, the light bulb didn't come on until the middle of the song was like, damn, I'm actually doing this. So I stopped the song and thanked all the professors who had helped me, all the classmates who had shared their notes with me, and everybody that I could think of that had helped me get through those 15 years. Then I finished the song. I had never graduated from anything like that before. I didn't even graduate from high school because I was a mom. The last graduation I had was from kindergarten. I had watched my friends and my children graduate, and the same year I graduated from college, 2 of my grandchildren graduated from high school. I value my diploma more than my Grammy Award, mainly because I earned that diploma on my own. It was something I had to do for myself, all by myself. Okay, so I dug into the vault, and some of these things I've never read, a couple of them, and some of them, none of them I've read here. Maybe 1 or 2 I've read here. So I'm going to start with the book first. I'll do 3 from the book.
Get that guy a stage.
Okay. I'll start with the most arcane, the weirdest one. This is called Impulsive Eater Diatribe. This was written 10/2/2008. Hello, I'm Caprice Caution, sister of Billy Bombast. I'd like to take you on a mission of complete confusion, except I'm not quite sure how to get there. Blockage seems to have no meaning to me at all, unless I get stuck, if I know what I mean. I try to stay off kilter at all times in order to see the world in an oblique fashion. I'm fastidious to slow the cleaning process required to run on without being sentenced to oblivion, which is a nice way of saying, what? I guess I've just been reading too much Done Again and not enough None Such. Parboiling your adventures often leads to a watering down of your character assassination. Assignation of stagnancy seems to be a requirement of running in place, which is why I never go to a gym and pay for what I can do perfectly well in the wilds, providing my foot is nailed to the ground. So, to sum up, absurdity subducted from anachronism is like feeling sorry for yourself despite the appearance of total chaos. Clues can be found in an astounding number of cages merely by pressing enter and exiting instead. Harrowing attempts at winnowing may result in separating the chaff from the wart, but can include incisions, removal, and obstreperous outtakes of garbage as well as pieces of flesh. So tread lightly when grinding meal, and you'll find your appetite a diminished 7th. Which is not to say silence is golden, but merely that a rest after a repast is like a bar above the bar line, and drinks around the house. Oh, and about that cleft in your chin music, it's better than boxing your ears into a cauliflower souffle. Once again, faced with Julia Child's inner adult, the missing ingredient is charm. Or did you lose the bracelet before you started cooking? Properly wash your hands before preparing the gradients, as the increase in surreptitious syrup will slowly fold hands into an assumption of prayer, which may or may not allow the yeast to rise properly, leading to a perplexity of putting what you were expecting an upside-down cake. To bestow elegance on an otherwise lethargic ritual, this in turn allows the other foot to move, complete the garrote cake, and fasten eyes on the feastival. Trying to barter for a closer look at the ongoing corpulence may seem weighty, but in the end the light banter will be accomplished if the batter merely meets the butter in a measured fashion. Dancing out of the way of the pitch, will only stick more securely to the task at hand. When dessert is proffered and with chopsticks, utensils become useless. Fingers are frowned upon, and elbowing your way through the curd hardly makes for a mannerly way of leaving the premises. Why not start with a coda instead? That way, those 2 tablespoons of salt can be tossed over your shoulder without fear of raising the rent in your pants, the crease in your trousers, or the ferment in the firmament comprising your waistline, your throwaway bon mots, your petit fours, or the alterations required therein. At this point, the repast has overtaken the future, leaving only the middle to muddle about it. Since the rainy season is late this year, questions arise. Dinners collapse, and certain gatherings are put on hold until we've taken the high ground, conserved properly, and appreciated the dry line of machinery coming to a halt. In contusion, switching the introduction with a postscript, we are left with a body of work insufficient for words. Thank you, Terry Pratchett and James Thurber. Recipes available with a self-embossed stumped elephant. I remember writing that, and what happened was I kind of had 4 voices going at once, and it was like, ooh, I gotta, this is how do I get these in line? Let's see where.
Yeah, that one.
There. This is called The Tame West in the Lingo. Frivolity, light-headed droll, scant echoes, stirrings, upwellings, grandiose clouds fluttering past a faint smile. Mark Twain, Bret Hart, masters of the well-festooned phrase, the blazoned broad-brimmed hat, veritable hornblowers of a different era, when highfalutin, gall-danged aromatics was the lay of the land, song of the sagebrush, Darth of the prairie, gold dust moldering in the muck, waiting for some ramble-root, plum-sagacious minimaw to raise its head and shout, "Yeehaw!" to the moon. I'm trying to remember. I know I was going to do a third one here, but let's see what it's going to be. Oh, yes, song. Prelude to jazz can. Put the thoughts down, put the notes down, put the form down, put the anger down, pick the song up, tell the story, pick the souls up, pick up the spirits, onto jazz camp, feel the blues vamp, exit ramp into the woods. Running water, sons and daughters, grandma, grandpa, everyone in between, pescadero, caballero, feel the rhythm, conga beat, voice reflecting, feet are flying, horns unleash, all the humor, piano's calling to the trees. 8 short days to think the breeze, stretch it out eternally. Pass the solstice, please. Pass the solstice, please. Pass the solstice, please. Pass the solstice, please.
Yeah.
Let's go for a little love, a little unrequited love. Yes.
Unrequited.
Unrequited. Oh no, well, how do you? Oh, actually, maybe it's
Love is lost.
So this is from 07. This is 8 years old, this stuff. I'm going to have to dig for it. I think it's in the big book, actually. I'm going to read, I'll segue to Out There Is Doppelganger, Half-Light, Dappled Sun, weaving in and out of breathing trees, wind whisper, Lorelei, Dryad, or over the shoreline, silky, perhaps even mermaid. Whiskers twitch, ears point. Between the rocks, a painful, sickly voice sings faintly, sweetly. It is your double, your alter, your change, your timeline gone awry, your funhouse mirror, your dancing marionette with flat painted eye. Under pressure, your head shrinks. Your eyes see clearly, both underwater and in the pitch dark. But midday has suddenly become too bright. Wait, there seems to be an extra crescent in the sky. Something happened. When you switch from cone to rod, you can't get your color back. Are you near the Arctic Circle, caught in an eternal dusk? Perhaps under a reef in the shallows, a mile from shore, unable to surface. Or maybe in the thicket near the equator, unable to locate the glade. Your outline appears, but there's no substance. You look askance, a slight tang of fear. That can't be it. A single drop from your armpit, sour stomach, taste of bile. Have you been here for a while or longer? A longing, an urge, melancholy, hindered, discouraged. A thought, a murmur, that your doppelganger arrived from the nether regions. Come to this place to replace? On an asteroid from deep space entered this atmosphere and burned up, or did it? Elder poets, this is AC/DC. Elder poets of the world, rejoice. Voici votre raison d'être. Here's your reason to be. In your later years, here's your reason to be, fascist. In your later years, do you find you are talking to yourself? Are you answering as well? Are there perhaps more than two voices joining the discussion? Is there a round table on this panel with as many as 4, 6, or even 8 voices clamoring for recognition? Relax. Here's the solution to this cacophony. Yes, there are many shades to human existence, and you want to represent them all fairly. Just pretend you are a choral director. It is your job to blend all these voices into one movement where all the jigsaw pieces fit together. Every voice is heard, but none stands out from the rest. You oversee the whole. No, not a black hole. You are a commanding voice. No, not that one. The reason to write every day is to get out of your ego now. Okay, let's see if we can find unrequited law. I know you're here somewhere.
It's unrequited, you can't find it.
Yes, that is the problem. That's exactly the problem.
Even I know that.
Even you and I know that as well as I.
He used to be pretty sharp. He used to be able to just really get to his stuff really fast. Remember those days? When he would get it just like razor. This aging thing isn't working anymore.
I still have a minute to the other one. But I got, anybody who's been at Cape Cod?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wellfleet?
No.
Okay.
Was it Wellesley? It's Whaley Wellesley.
Wellfleet.
No.
P-Town, Truro, Wellfleet,
I was in
Sandwich,
P-Town.
or Dedham,
100
anyhow.
years ago.
Great Pond. Glaciers retreat from Long Island rubble to leave giant ice cubes in the middle of Cape Cod, which slowly sinks and melt, leaving Wellfleet with numerous freshwater ponds, pristine, sweet water, fed where? Underground. Raining with rain? You'll need a permit. 54 years ago, there were tens of fingernail-sized frogs. Wild July, August blueberries among the oaks up near the road. Great Pond is where I learned to swim, to see clearly underwater, where chlorine could not touch. How far across? Perhaps a fifth of a mile, a scant beach to tan on, gentle slope, descent from shallow to deep, lots of play area for children, space to find your place, re-enter the womb with the sun on your face, see how far you could swim under the surface undetected, sated like any cetacean. Six minutes?
Or a century, depending on your perspective.
The 6 was 9.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is '07. That was last year I was driving a truck, which I did for 18 years, so this was just a little truck. Energy conjunction, 10:43 a.m. Drove the truck to the locus of the rolling hills and wind spirits, Don Quixote land, windmill haven, where more golden eagles are chewed up in the veins of fog than anywhere else in California. Land of unseeming contradictions. Heading northwest on Byron Highway, reciting my poetry to no one in particular. The wide open spaces of Alameda meet Contra Costa, blowing power par excellence. Spin it, weave it into electric sparks. Light up the dark, brighten the countryside. Power of machinery. Don't have to see the wind, just feel it. Energy conjunction. Truck impressions, lots of those. So I do a lot of gardening. So 11/107. November 1st, the apricot. I planted this tree. So the apricot tree kept a secret, hiding half a dozen dried fruit, dehydrated, masquerading as shriveled leaves out of sight. Water drained from their flesh. Orange-brown interior, sweet, tart, tang, observed long ago by those tuned to the natural turn. Invisible today to the urban burn, housing the pit, the future, tree of sustenance, golden apples of the sun, fruit leather drying on the tree. And then one day, a leaf just blew into the truck at my feet. Leaf on the floorboards, flagstone buckling in its cement bed, deciduous decisions to fall or not to fly, hermit thrush all alone again, junco down from Oregon, goldfinch the lesser gold but equal heart, naked branch, a region warmed a bit above the usual, tree hush, wind brush, wing song, chaparral, drive, not lush, manzanita, padrone, humans respectful of quiet glide path to path, rock on rock, humming annabirds, wings electric, telephone wire, no frost yet November, dragonflies eating midair, California, natives, women, plants, diverse, lovely.
Right on.
I know she's in there hiding somewhere. Come on, where are you? I can't believe I buried her.
You buried her?
I buried her.
You won't go back
Probably
to
for
your
the
next
best.
I have
feature.
no idea where she went.
It's probably for the best.
I don't know. Okay.
None of this unrequited then.
Sure.
So I'll segue to the present. Do you need an epigram, a stimulus, a painting, a photograph, a musical interlude, a beat, a stumbling block to get started? It's simple. No need to sign your work, just work. Step outside your skin, just ask Ahmad Jamal. Be the vessel. You're not the content. We do not create. We only transmit. Process is what we do to our hair. Content is how we feel when the work is complete. Oh, who knows Molly Holm? I'll say Molly. People here know H.D. Mo. Some people know.
Yeah,
H.D.
yeah.
Okay.
He's been challenged.
Another H.D. No Mo. The never-ending questions meet the seemingly seamless answers of seamstress, stitching laughter into the pelt of a hidey-ho, raking the hidden furrows that browse through beer after beer, of bear after bear, in unbearable fashion, revealing Ursula's major and minor fulcrums used to balance thought with culture, emotion with paradise, rectitude with fortitude. When the old saw sees what philosophy has wrought, A preponderance of weighty issues issue forth and back to the pages of a mighty newsletter posing as the carrier going postal. Am I done?
You got about a minute.
Okay, good. I'll start with this one. Okay. Posing as the carrier going postal, banging the headwaters of synoptic lenses, backlit with the forebrain of an earwig, wearing a nose ring, scaring scarabs rolling dung uphill to the tune of Lonely Avenue, emptying the contents of that cul-de-sac into a journeyman's kit bag full of pups, pips, pimps, prumps, and leftovers that motley crew fail to erase from the blackboard of decay, underlying underbellies coagulating agricultural runoff into an open pit used to drown live birds by mirroring the sky, no longer etched by cloud, but only allowed to exhale fumes, not perfume, perfidies, not paradiddles, grease easy enough to pursue it, while sneezing goblets of wine into a troll's holy cadaver, stretched on the clean green felt of a billiard ballad, joining juke joints with the steel bearing of a matron dancing on the head of a palm. I'm done.
And proverbially kicking the muse where she least expects it.
He plays together. Scintillating saxophone, too.
Scintillating sophistry by the young man over here. We're going to take a very short break, but after the break, if you like the first half, we got Marika Hartz, Hal Robbins, Clara Sue,
Al Nightingale, Philip Zerman, Garrett Murphy, and of course, Mr. Alan Harris as our mini feature of the evening. The kick your, what do I call it? The Clincher Closer Super Duper Bulldozer. And I mentioned your name, didn't I?
Baron de Rothschild, rumored to arrive anytime soon.
Yes, he's speaking about it.
Speaking.
Anyway, 10 minutes. Love you very much. We'll be back with a second half that just kicks it in the ear.
You're a darling boy. Isn't he a darling boy?
That's right. Here, I got another one for you. Don't steal this if you want.
I didn't hear the last one.
This year,
yeah, that would be good. I'm not too. I have no expertise.
All right.
Or I can turn that.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I'll put
When I do a first one, I make sure I mention someone did this or someone did that. Like,
You may not want to go back, so, you know.
Hey, Harpo, good to see you again.
You know what I'll do?
I'm much different.
I'll just bring the garlic.
I was going to bring you tarragon.
And I'll bring it in until
You're going to have to wait. You're going to have
you wanted the garlic. I have already colored.
Okay, then I'll bring you tarragon.
So what I'll do is
Yeah, put your name on it. You put my name on it, and I'll put your name on it. Okay, so yeah, look for it.
and I'll give him one.
Yeah, I brought the sax last All right, I'll bring it.
Why can't you guys ask me? Why can't you step up to the plate?
when you come back, you'll bring it in the ball.
That was just from the Japanese.
Japanese night.
See, I had to that one.
Oh, okay.
Is that the only way
Japanese.
Well done.
And it comes in.
Garrett,
He said
Getting ready to go.
I had to expand that a little bit. This is a rough draft. It was too much. Early one morning, I wrote the whole thing myself. Yeah, well, I thought, I was wondering, I thought, you know what, I'll just read this and see what happens. It was a messy read. I skipped pages, chapter, I mean, it was all messy to begin with. It was a messy That's a dirty play. Hey, Wally, what are you talking about? We have time out. I'm up here doing a show. It's made of
I know the kids I know the kids are they were oh yeah, yeah.
It's a lot.
Don't worry. Wrong way.
Will you distract him for me?
I kind of knew what I kind of
I thought I had that one. That was a bomb.
No, I was right between the hips and the shoulders.
No, yours was good.
Strike.
Oh, he's throwing bobcats.
Why can't we?
It's a good thing they missed this thing, because they could have killed somebody.
Are you partying?
Oh, look at that. How did you do that? You got a love child giving you
That was great. Snapped and popped and everything.
This is maybe someone with the book.
Little Roman therapy.
It does. So why can't you?
I know. Here, somebody put them in that. So you'll get all mad and throw them out of hours.
Gonna read?
What's your name? Great
It just comes to me naturally.
That's lovely. When we were kids, we sang that. Grandpa's a mini.
Yeah, I had no idea what it meant.
To go a wandering along the mountain track. And as I go, I love to sing my knapsack on my back. Valkyrie.
Hang over from the days of Say one.
Down here.
Oh, way back east
So,
today.
it would be funny to have it on the street, listening to this in my head. We were trying to see if I could.
Pharmacy, one of the corners of the pharmacy.
Give me some time on that. So I would prefer Vita because it is available.
Well, yeah.
I said, well, you have like 4 years at that place and
March
one
like
at that
50 years.
place. Which one do you want?
They have hard drugs there too.
And
You hold them up on a Thursday, you get the kick. But you know, the thing is like, you're not in the back, it's the side window.
Yes, I think.
Dan, he found his lost phone. How about a tree to
I have a felonious monk, words with felonious monk to me.
Okay, so we'll stuff you in at number 15, like the after
Yeah, that was
Oh,
great.
yeah, and then, you know, here, when you're sitting on the bus, while you're sitting there, like this.
So how'd you come across the Mary Snyder?
Oh,
There you go. And then look.
This man in
roll
the hat over here
backwards
brought
as
it.
you can, and then forward.
Wait a minute. Oh, sorry.
Isn't this yours?
You'll be surprised by the time you go to the bus, you'll be doing a lot better. Doesn't seem like you're doing much in
Are you giving that away?
just little
He
things.
just gave it to me to give away.
Oh,
The guy in the hat.
Lower back.
Are you serious?
No, he's Philip.
You're not, are you?
Oh, I got a new number club.
what I'm looking
Keep
I got here.
Is that time up? Are we up?
That's
You
what
want to
man.
trade? I'll do a broadside for you.
Philip Douglas.
Philip de Glass.
Philip
Broccoli and
Douglas.
avocado,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for a stellar second half. A
Stella!
half that you... Stella d'Oro.
Stella
Oro de
Doro.
Lingo d'Oro.
Italian pastry.
All right, I'm stopping here.
Gourmet.
Let me see who's coming up after the break.
Me and me alone.
Mark, you better get ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
After the break, our following readers of the open are, we have Marco Harps, Hal Robbins, David E. found the poem, he's going to read it. Clara, Al, Philip, Garrett, and Alan Haddis
Alan Freed.
As our mini super duper closer.
You guys remember Alan Freed? He freed us up to do rock and roll shows. And then Bill Graham took up the slack.
All right.
Remember Alan Freed? He freed us up when he did the rock and roll shows in the 50s.
Yes.
Then he got caught up in the payola and on and on.
Okay.
And then Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and wait, don't tell me, from Texas, Buddy Holly all died in that plane crash. Then Bill Graham took up the, I don't know, he said something about Freed, so I said Alan Freed.
Okay, so you're on now.
And I began my journey into, long day's journey into night. I want to do some silly stuff here. I think we're channeling the muse of Mr. H.C. Moe tonight. Because recently I wrote some real wackadoodle stuff.
Wackadoodle, is it?
But I'll start with the less wackadoodle, which you might think is even more
Your foot's
so.
in the wire, you might.
Good.
Well,
I like to electrify my
I just don't want you to take a step and then fall.
You don't want me to do anything. I know how you are.
Well,
Have you met my friend Mike? There he is. Oh,
it's supposed to be a timeout.
that's my friend Mike right here. Oh, this is called Don't Detroit. The dubious dollar dimension. Oh, by the way, I sent all these lyrics to myself and I haven't opened the envelope. So I'm too cheap to send to the government. I don't trust them. I hate them. I love them. I am the government. But more of that later. Fascism is fascist. By the way, there's been yet another public service announcement. Dubious dollar dimension of Detroit's dwindling pensive pensions. This would be an invitation to any municipality in the nation to raid each worker's pension. To relieve debtors' tension, this morally bankrupt judge says it's okay to take and add the sludge that is damned to Detroit and their lakes thereof. Motown's music mutated into rap when the money got so funny, clouds of anger clouded the sunny side of the street. Along with the smog caught in the great fake fog from the late Great Lakes, Ilias bog, and every mutated frog under every rotting log began to smell like Magog of prophecies of old. Kids out in the cold, heaven's roads grow mold, the promised land ate my blues band. Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels.
Yeah.
Morning mood, fat tire squeals, where greed goes, girl goofy. Bathtub gin, gangland in garage, guilty greasy Godzilla, go fill a tank with gas from a very big bank that we have to thank for not financing working women and men. No, you can't ask to give yet more concessions. I'd hate to be the one to hear your confessions. Quick, somebody set up or tear down the concession. Yo, San Francisco, attention, who needs money in a free country? Me and my landlady, baby.
Your landlady's baby?
Oh. I resemble that remark. The legend of a hobo called Ken. Some say started his day with cheap vino, then out the nearest freight train smoking to the nearest casino, blowing all his bucks at craps or Keno. Some say he drove an El Camino into the fountain at Caesar's palace. Excuse me, while I raise the chalice. Sneezy for me. True, of course, this is the chorus. Hobo Ken, if he was just a bum to some, how come they named the New Jersey town after him? Some say he spent most of his time in the pan. Some say he spent most of his time in Zen. Hobo Ken, if he was just a bum to some, how come they named the New Jersey town after him? Some say that he was just too good. Some say his best friend was a hood. I'm here to say it's understood. Say it with me if you know it by now. Hobo Ken, if he was such a bum to some, how come they named New Jersey town after him? Some say he died finally as a hero. Some say he died just as he lived, a zero. Hobo Ken, if he was just a bum to some, how come they named a New Jersey town after him?
Hey,
So here's a little something. This is the strange stuff. I wrote this before you said your stuff about Uber, and some of it connects so strangely, it's very strange.
That is strange.
I rewrote it, but so I could read it. Uber is a cancer tuber. She surrenders his suspenders to the starvation. So I could read it, right? To the Starvation Army thrill store, putting him into suspended reanimation. A nation of, by the way, which is a nation, not to be confused of hot dogs. What a nation of homeless, heavenly hell. Oh well, the smell. What the smell is really going on. No, hot dogless, heavenly hell. Oh well, what the smell is really going on. I'm gone. Fascism is fascist. Pacifism is passive.
Oh,
And
careful for that plagiarism there.
who did I plagiarize? Myself?
Fascism is fascism.
I know, I said it. I said it earlier, and I say it again.
Well, we're all saying
Jimmy
it now.
Mankind said it first, so it's his. The rest of it is mine, oh mine. Dean, do I have one more time?
not really.
Oh, good. Then I won't read the best one.
Well, bring it back.
You gotta read the best
The
one.
best one that just takes too
That's
long.
fine.
Quit throwing things in the house.
Here, I'll head off with just a note or two on the harmonica.
Thank you.
All right.
Give us a break.
I'll take myself
And
out.
then repair it.
Yeah, take myself out and once in a while, you know, I ain't cheap, you know. I know later on I'm gonna take advantage of myself. Mothra.
So he brought up New Jersey, and I have to, there's a story about New Jersey. Most people don't know that Washington, D.C. has all the lawyers, but New Jersey has all the toxic waste dumps.
Not all of them.
Well, most of them. And the reason why is because New Jersey won the toss.
That's right.
Hey! All right. Hal Robbins in the house coming up. Thank you so much. A wonderful read. And then as foreadvised, David has found that poem. He's going to read that. And then we have Clara Sue, Al Nightingale, Philip, Garrett, and Alan.
To a Skylark by Shelley. Hail to thee, blithe spirit, bird thou never wert, that from heaven or near it pourest thy full heart in profuse strains of unpremeditated art. Higher still and higher from the earth thou springest, like a cloud of fire, the deep blue thou wingest, and singing still dost soar, and soaring ever singest. In the golden lightning of the sunken sun, o'er which clouds are brightening, thou dost float and run like an unbodied joy, whose race is just begun. The pale purple even melts around thy flight, like a star of heaven. In the broad daylight thou art unseen, yet still I hear thy shrill delight. Keen as are the arrows of that silver sphere, whose intense lamp narrows in the white dawn clear, until we hardly see, we feel that it is there. All the earth and air with thy voice is loud, as when night is bare, from one lonely cloud the moon rains out her beams, and heaven is overflowed. What thou art, we know not. What is most like thee? From rainbow clouds there flow not drops so bright to see as from thy presence showers a rain of melody. Like a poet, hidden in the light of thought, singing hymns unbidden till the world is wrought to hopes and sympathies with him it heeded not. Like a high-born maiden in a palace tower, soothing her love-laden soul in secret hour with music sweet as love, which overflows her bower. Like a glowworm, golden in a dell of dew, scattering unbeholden its aerial hue among the flowers and grass, which screen it from our view. Like a rose embowered in its own green leaves, by warm winds deflowered, till the scent it gives makes faint, with too much sweet, those heavy-winged thieves. Sounds of vernal showers on the twinkling grass, rain-awakened flowers, all that ever was, joyous and sweet and fresh, thy music doth surpass. Teach us, sprite or bird, what sweet thoughts are thine. I have never heard praise of love or wine that panted forth a flood of rapture so divine. Chorus hymeneal or triumphant chant matched with thine would be all but an empty vaunt, a thing wherein we feel there is some hidden want. What objects are the fountains of thy happy strain? What rocks, what waves, what mountains, what shapes of sky or plain? What love of thine own kind, what ignorance of pain? With thy clear, keen joyance, languor cannot be. Shadow of annoyance never came near thee. Thou lovest yet ne'er knew love's sad satiety. Waking or asleep, thou of death must deem things more true and deep than we mortals dream. Or how could thy notes flow in such a crystal stream? We look before and after, and pine for what is not. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those which tell of saddest thought. Yet, if we could scorn hate and pride and fear, if we were things born never to shed a tear, I know not how thy joy we ever could come near. Better than all measures of delightful sound, better than all treasures that in books are found, thy skill to poet were, thou scorner of the ground. Teach me half the gladness that thy brain doth know. Such harmonious madness from my lips would flow, the world should listen then, as I am listening now.
Yeah, well, you know, as they say in France, I love it. Thank you.
Are you
Al.
sure?
All right, so David E. found that. He's going to give us that. We have Clara, Al, Philip, Garrett, and Alain. Alice.
Wow.
Oh, yes, I am greedy, I admit it.
Yeah,
I
well,
gave
you
him
know.
my time. Go for it.
So I've never read this before, and I have a more arrived one about this particular book, but not tonight, not tonight. This is called Move the Groove. This is for DS. This is written 10/3/07. I believe I found her shortly after this, and she didn't even recognize me. But that's another story. I loved you once, you loved me then. You broke my heart. Remember when? I was unfaithful, but once too many. A single time, a single penny. I cost more to make than I am worth. What to do? 27 years have come and gone. How can my love still feel so strong? No birth occurred. Events came down. My actions split us like silent screams. What does it take to mend this rift? I'd do anything to stop this drift. The hand of God, the touch of spirit. Fatima's eyes sees through my soul. Which children die? Which children live? For to the living I can give a love as deep as any known. I'm old and gray, my last son grown. He soon will fly the nest. I'll be alone. I beg, consider my faith again. Kundalini 1 through 10. If spirits rise and songs are sung, ascend the ladder rung by rung. For now I'm ready atop the cage to drop the anger and the rage. But still, pain lingers, tears are near. To bury children distills those fears. We're not immortal, flesh and blood. There is an essence where love can meet. Sex ends in head and starts in feet. Tears up and down as backbone trembles. Same love for God this does resemble. Through meditation or prayer, yes, action, energy mystic will break through traction. When tongue to tongue was heart to heart, stuck within the pain of parting. I see the living, I hear the dead. I love them all here in my head. My heart will never let them go. Conceive of this, eternity, no start, no finish, just ever. Not first, yet best. We pass this test. I carry all within my chest. I act and function. I sing and dance, one leg at a time, put on my pants. Some friends are dying, some friends are dead. Spend time with me while we both live. Perhaps a future we'll get to chart with new young bodies and paired young hearts. We both once children born of love, parents connected, souls in tune. Look back, look forward, share present boon. Am I pretending that love is there only to find you still don't care? The future clouded, occult, obscure, love unrequited, confined, no curse. Respect yourself, humbly present. There's no struggle here with true devotion. A stubborn man just goes through the motions to give up self and join the one. Remove the burdens that weigh a ton. Omega sign, the open circle, the circle within a circle, yin and yang, eye in your palm, nerves in your feet. Release your heart so your soul is complete. Move the groove.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Shelley Berman wrote that.
And now,
Okay. I was hoping it would blend
the mercies, such as they may be called, of Clara Sue.
It's a little high.
Clara.
So I was listening to a piece by J.S. Bach. It's his Prelude BWV 847. And
847?
847.
Wow. That's my favorite.
Oh, thank you. Maybe you can sing along while I read
You can't even count that high.
Okay, so
dear.
I couldn't get the music out of my head, and I was driving one day. It was down the freeway. There was lots of traffic, and this poem came to me. So this is homage to J.S. Bach's Prelude, BWV 847. Traffic signal, green light, red light, green light, red light, one-way detour, highway patrol, uphill, downhill, U-turn, blind spot, Honda, Hyundai, Chevy, taxis, Lexus, Cooper, Chrysler, Porsche, orange road cones, keep clear potholes, Google MapQuest, flat tire, head on, dust clouds, sirens, texting, phoning, twilight, brake lights, speeding ticket, BACH, bus lines, bus stop, pedestrians, zebra crossing, San Francisco, Marin County, Berkeley, Oakland, Daly City. The water of Yellow River comes from heaven, rushes toward the sea, never to return. Thank you.
I'll never listen to that piece again.
Never hear it the same way.
Good for you.
All right. Al Nightingale.
Wow.
Come on up, Al. Give him a nice round. And then we got Philip there. Al, how are you? Welcome back.
Ooby dooby.
Thank you.
An arm.
Several poems which I wrote in Monterey, in Monterey and in Santa Clara.
Get really close to the
Yes.
Far and wide on the shore with no end, you would like to go back there. Waves are sprawling of the sand as if bringing something to share. Where no dramatic is wealth, move it to the wharf like a cripple. There in honor of holy people, you would crucify yourself. When sometimes you want to use the old harmony excitingly, the white sail will dance exactly like the feather of a goose. At the old mazurka stare, look with all your eyes and yearn, ready then to strip and pare rings of everything beyond, but like in his music chirping, changed patterns from the start. Every vase with its form sopping has stripped something from my heart. There, fixed in your skirt, you said, giving plenty of your living signs, but I dreamed to dip my fishing net in your waving and expressive silence, and I knew that I could see it all, those two Matamotin lucky fellows, and the ocean flying like a ball to a waving gate along the shallows. Knock and enter in this queen silence of shores, even if all its stars have decayed, for a reason, the union of water and earth, it's been called since the start of days. Where aged in your sun were hewn, and the food trucks stick up like crones. They're leading inside you and out of you, oceanic sighs and groans. The poor old Richard, when his mood is diving, he goes to the balcony to smoke, and in his small apartment by the highway, he's making with himself a good small talk. One day, he saved a little girl on fire, and there and then, right out, when his brains, his soul is free of any grief entirely. Although it passed a trying Olympus test, the Pyrenees, just like the Cordilleras, the world is stuffed with pepper and gunpowder. I'm on this highway, always kind of scared, but I eat Fiji fruit, and I don't grumble. The Gertrude's time of autumn years, in gardens of half-wilted roses, we haven't yet gone home in boxes, but what about our peers? It's almost automatic. Times lead us to Tigris from Euphrates. Oh, how nice the two verses you read, my dear, from your rhymes. Some cut up with his fast one, with a fast one walks on the highway mad, and shrouding in fashion a kitchen silver set. In front of the poor house where cars expose just dogtails, he through the sliver sucks himself instead of cocktails. And any custom agent or cops of this dwarf region should catch him, but they cannot in spite of their night vision. This host flies when they glimpse him, in chase with him all night. Like the eternal Christmas, the highway joins its lights.
Wow, Reed. Wow. Now, Philip Zimmerman, the person who brought a wonderful gift for our consideration here. So you're the lucky one to take care of that. We hope that you respect. And now a round of applause for he is well up his nice. Well up his nice. It's all right. I put glasses on myself.
Okay. Twilight of the Damned. So,
More is the mic.
Yeah.
Twilight of the Damned. These are all people that I have known here in San Francisco. Jeffrey's teeth all gone, broken on crystal and piss. The little guy who folded paper. The army cap twice as big as his head and a chest full of medals. From the portrait at the hole, he stared and starved. Shrill Linda bled out in her studio. Buddy cried all the time and bled to death inside. Another sacrifice to wine. A marble green and fine he gave me when first we met. Eric, another raised Christ from death at the Lone Star Saloon on Easter Sunday, magnificent and profane. His suffering, magnificent and profound. A green leg claimed him, brought this biker down. My place, Teo, gave me your Senar. Gone back to Spain, he vanished there into bright Spanish air. Herman the German emerged from darkness, unter Scheunewagen. A vision of loveliness, I wonder where you are. This is Redemption. This is for Roger Bruce Sinclair. He was cremated on Halloween 2014. Who would have thunk it? An avowed Satanist, lovingly watched over by a good Christian woman. A homo sextant, no less. Done, gone, giving hell to the stars. All manner of them hounding them down, rousting them out of their grassy dirt lounges. He sought them out and trotted along, all along the shallow, plotted pitches and trench-worked ditches of America's underbelly. Old Roger, Satan's magister minion, sings to the dark and the bronze in Hollywood's charnel parks, with sigils laid secret in the mortar and shards. A gorgeously plain woman who mastered her heart lovingly laid the old demon to rest in a crypt stacked right on top of Hermione Keengold, and flanked his eternal bronze Johnson with two white angels kneeling in the black at the back of his satanic silence. Yes, that is a true story. And one last one. The mortified ass. If you live long enough to see it from the inside, the gilded four-edged ass of a 25-year-old gleams like Lucifer's third eye. My lifespan, many times over, glares at me now. From across a dimming brain pan, a horrified snicker in a dirty mirror.
Welcome back and come back. All right. We have Garrett Murphy before our clincher closer super duper bulldozer, so give Garrett a round of applause as he comes up. And take care of these wonderful prizes. Oh yeah, I saw him.
It's all right.
This is a good poet, ladies and gentlemen.
How many guys are left?
That's it.
29.
17.
Plus Marlon Brando.
Oh yes, he's the baby.
Jimmy's my agent.
No, I gave up my
She did something special arrangement.
Oh,
Behave yourself.
We just
is Shelley Berman here?
suck it.
Hey,
Your pie hole.
I started.
All right, shh. Sorry about that. Here we go. Shh.
Well, I can find a way to get here at a decent time. But I am co-featuring tomorrow at Fort Mason, 6:30 p.m. I'm co-featuring with Laura De Cervantes.
Oh.
It's a Reader's Bookstore out in Fort Mason.
Wow.
Thank you.
Is it open mic too?
No.
No.
Okay, thanks.
That's right.
Dr. Palmer represume. Like all the gleeful quacks of his kind, Walter Palmer fantasizes about his quest. He wants his share of glory too, to be sanctified by the organization known as the System. He sets out to Zimbabwe for jungle glory. He bags a big one, a really big one. Not only a king, but a most renowned one. Walter has bagged his own game. He returns to his old glory-wreaked home with pride in his heart and beating on his chest. But wait a minute, something is very wrong here, and it will cost Walter dearly. For you see, in the quest for ultimate sanctification, it appears that Walter in his haste shot dead an African lion. That black mane must have fooled him. Now instead of the sanctification he was craving from the System, Walter is now public enemy number one on the run. He didn't realize he could only be sanctified by the System had he killed an African human. And unlike Beanie, he cannot yelp for help. Cecil can't help him now or anymore. Cecil was the one whom Walter shot dead in his misguided quest for System sanctification. Jesus, Gina. Jesus, Gina, we are just so surprised. We had absolutely no idea that our Negroid folk were so sad about life here. Gee, how is it that they weren't as satisfied as we were with their hospitality towards sparing us all our mundane work? We thought they were happy as we were about being in a lower status than we. Gee was just a little cross. You know, just a little prank. Gee, for all we know, the good boys were simply planning her life for Halloween. Ah, gee, they shouldn't have been so sensitive about good old boy Reese joshing about erasing them with the stroke of a pen. You know he's always going off like that. Couldn't they see he's just a joke? And gee whiz, how were we to know they didn't like the initiation in the early darky manhood? You know, maximum sentencing and all. They could have been just a tad grateful while we rushed them ahead of our own. Is that not what affirmative action is all about? Oh, gee willikers, I guess the times have caught up with us. No more fun and games for Mr. Crow. Our dream has come to a crashing end. Everyone's looking and talking now, even with our strongest supporters in years in power. We're just going to have to get used to the term black and African American, let alone sir, madam, Mr., Miss, Doctor, or even the dreaded first name.
Always good. All right. And now, Mr. Alan Harris will come up here. He need to clinch the closer shirt for Dribble Ball the feature of the evening. And then we'll take care of these fantabulous prizes, all of which we designed with your mind in mind.
Any sandwiches? I'll do this.
Yeah, do that, please, because I'm preoccupied watching Jimmy.
Yes.
I have to.
Yeah, he's going
I get paid to do that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
When I first moved to San Francisco about 6 years ago, I was in a very, very bad place in my life. Very low, emotionally, psychologically, financially. And my brother, who's lived here for 25 years, was nice enough to let me stay with him and his family in their home while I got my shit together. And they had this dog, this really beautiful black Labrador retriever, whose name was Dahlia. And I spent a lot of time with Dahlia while I was staying in his house. And every day, they lived across the street from John McLaren Park, and every day I would take Dahlia into the park and I would throw a ball or a frisbee to her. And watching the immense amount of joy that she got out of the simple act of, you know, catching a ball or a frisbee was like therapeutic. She was a real service animal to me. And I mean, it really just, it helped me immensely to get through this really, really bad period in my life. And Dahlia and I really like connected. You know, she was incredibly hedonistic, cared only about her own pleasures, and was incredibly needy, and I'm the same way. So, which is why every relationship I've ever had with a woman has gone so well. And,
oh my God.
So, a few weeks ago, unfortunately, Dahlia died. She was old, and you know she died of natural causes. And when my brother called me to tell me that she died, I felt this terrible sense of loss. I mean, like I've never felt my entire life, and which is strange because it's not like I haven't experienced loss before. I have. My parents died, so I know what it's like to experience loss. But for some reason, the loss of this dog, who wasn't even my dog, was so painful for me. And I think it's because I had a less dysfunctional relationship with Dahlia than I did with my parents. So that might have had something to do with it. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I remember when I was a kid, I asked my father if dogs go to heaven when they die. And he said, you know, my father was a noted, you know, theologian, Catholic Jew, which is a long story, a whole other spoken word piece. And he said, no, they don't go to heaven when they die, dogs, because they don't have souls. But yeah, well, I think that if my father had met Dahlia, he would have changed his mind, because that dog had soul. And we should all be so soulful. So, Dahlia.
All right.
Okay, now I'm gonna read some crap that I wrote.
Brag, brag, brag.
I was inspired, something about, where's the gentleman? Right over there. Something about what you read before has inspired me to read this. If you're nice to people, chances are that they'll be nice to you, and then you'll have friends all of your life. Unless the people that you're being nice to are assholes, in which case they're just pretending to be your friend, and they're going to take advantage of you and screw you every chance they get, which will make you jaded and cynical and make you want to not be nice to people, in which case you will be resented and shunned, and yours will be a sad and lonely existence. Unless the people that you're not being nice to are assholes, in which case they will recognize you as one of their own, and they will bring you into their circle, and then you will have friends all of your life. Of course, all of your friends will be assholes, but that's better than being alone, isn't it? I'm afraid you're going to discover that I've never eaten a salad, and that I've never filed a tax return, and that I once owned a Dan Fogelberg album, and that it took me 25 years to read Atlas Shrugged, and that I went to my senior prom with a hooker who charged me double, and that my ass was once kicked by an Olsen twin, although I'm not sure which one. I think it might have been Ashley. And that I once tried to mass produce a bumper sticker that said, "Suck my Cheney," and that when I do a juice fast, I count pizza as juice, and that since my apartment is smaller than the trunk of my car, I sometimes sleep in the trunk of my car, and that my penis is so small, it's an innie, and that all white people look alike to me, and that my favorite Marx brother was Margaret Dumont, and that Christopher Marlowe wrote all of my plays, and that in a real-life Lord of the Flies situation, I would have been Piggy! But mostly I'm afraid you're going to discover that I don't know what I'm doing. So this last thing I wrote when I had hair, and so try to picture long, flowing locks. I'll do this if you occasionally.
That really helps. Yeah.
Shampoo and conditioner. You see, I buy my shampoo and conditioner in a set. They're made by the same company, they're sold together, and they even recommend each other on the backs of the bottles. Like on the back of the shampoo bottle, it says, "Hey, after shampooing, why don't you try my buddy, the conditioner?" And on the back of the conditioner bottle, it says, "Hey, before conditioning, why don't you try my pal, the shampoo?" So this shampoo and this conditioner are meant to go together. But you see, I had this problem when I first bought the shampoo and conditioner. I ran out of conditioner before I ran out of shampoo. So when I was done with the bottle of conditioner, I still had half a bottle of shampoo left, and the only way to get more conditioner was to go out and buy another set. So then I had a bottle of conditioner and a bottle and a half of shampoo, and when I was done with that bottle of conditioner, I had to go out and get another set. So then I had a bottle of conditioner and 2 bottles of shampoo, and when I was done with that bottle of conditioner, I had to go out and get another set. So then I had a bottle of conditioner and 2.5 bottles of shampoo, and when I was done with that bottle of conditioner, I had to go out and get another set. So then I had a bottle of conditioner and 3 bottles of shampoo, and when I was done with that bottle of conditioner, I had to go out and get another set. So then I had a bottle of conditioner and 3.5 bottles of shampoo, and so on, until eventually in my bathroom I had a bottle of conditioner and 36.5 bottles of shampoo. And this created quite a few problems, not the least of which was the fact that I had run out of room in my bathroom for anything else. It was just wall-to-wall bottles of shampoo, and I had to take everything else out of my bathroom. I had to take out the shower curtains, the towels, and the razor blades, and the shaving cream, and the toothbrush, and the toothpaste, and the deodorant, and take all that stuff out of my bathroom and put them in my dresser drawers where they were touching my sweaters! Not that. And that was a drag. Now, I thought about buying another brand of conditioner. and using that until they had used up this incredible surplus of shampoo. But then I thought, no, wait a minute. This shampoo and this conditioner are meant to go together. And if I start mixing chemicals from shampoos and conditioners that don't go together, that could do serious damage to my hair. And who knows, maybe even brain damage. Because let's face it, the brain is right there underneath the scalp. And if I start mixing these chemicals that don't go together and it seeps through my scalp and into my brain, that could do some serious damage. And I don't need that because I have enough brain damage already. So I wrote to the company that makes the shampoo and conditioner, and I asked them what they thought I should do. And they replied very quickly. They sent me a letter in which they said that, first of all, I was right not to introduce another brand of conditioner into the cycle because it might conceivably cause hair and or brain damage. And then they said that the solution to my problem was very simple. It says very specifically on the back of the shampoo bottle, lather, rinse, repeat. And I wasn't repeating. Interesting thing about the letter, though. It was a form letter.
Just goes to show you, you have to read those instructions carefully, even when they're really good. Now, Karen, would you like to come up and give us a piece?
This is really timing.
Well, because it is, and then we got to do our things and other things. Karen Miller, we're going the
I didn't know whose it was. Okay, I brought Virginia's book, but if it takes me too long to find my poems. Oh yeah, here's one. Okay. This is in Overthrowing Capitalism. It was put together by John Curl for the Revolutionary Poets Brigade. Nonviolence brings fewer casualties than violence. They, the amorphous they, want to prove this with statistics. Bomb dropped by remote-controlled drones bring fewer casualties to American soldiers than bombs dropped by live, non-remote soldiers, civilians. Children who are not Americans die daily, are in terror daily. They are nonviolent. They watch the sky daily for drones. Nonviolence brings fewer casualties than violence. These are not my words. They are a quotation from somewhere else. Children without weapons die in schools, shot by children with weapons who've been abused by violence. The violence of neglect, the violence of silence, the violence of betrayal, the violence of watching children somewhere else watch drones threatening violence from azure blue skies.
Wow.
But I don't want to look for something here. I'll bring them here. This is just kind of fun. So, my shoes carry me across the street where they will meet your shoes, with laces torn and thinning soles covering your feet that tap a beat that's long and sweet, a travelogue from shoe to shoe and feet to feet, never complete. Repeat, repeat. The dumpster knows an old shoe's woes when finally its mistress throws the thinning soles and ripped up holes away.
Thank you. All right. And now, as threatened or promised or forewarned or foreshadowed or five-shadowed, what do they call it? Foreshadowed. The prizes again, Sheer World or Western Review, 4th edition from 1995. Spritz by, what's his name over there? I always thank you, Stephen Coppell. 2 from Don Brennan. 1 is
Prelude to Uncertainty.
Prelude to Uncertainty and Extraordinary Pleasure. Expressions, another anthology, and what is one I like of Sally Saunders, Word Pictures. And then, thanks to one of our fine poets, we have this piece of artistic pleasuring, and this is actually...
It's a poem.
It is a poem. Gary Snyder, it looks like it's been signed.
Wow.
Really? It was Japanese.
And so it's beautiful. And we can thank Philip, right? He already left.
He ducked out.
Ducked out. Try to thank somebody. So if you do win this, we want this, treat it with respect to Springfield.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it over here so that's.
You all could have that if you talked to me.
And then keynote or the mini if you're coming back next week. And then this, I'll put this here because if you want to get the emails, there's that. And this is the announcement about the Berkeley Protest Festival, Saturday, August 15th.
Oh, yeah. That's
You
upcoming.
can kindly shuffle those.
Is that the People's Park, Berkeley Bars and stuff?
No, it's what's the name of that place?
That place. I don't know, bro.
It's a very famous place. I've been there several times. By the way, it's
Oh,
on Cedar.
yeah, it's all the folk singer protesters, they're all together,
Yeah.
music fest,
Yeah.
of which,
And
the
Phil
fifth
Oakes
year.
back from the dead.
Oh my gosh. Country
All right.
Joe is there,
Country
and
Joe
he's
McDonald.
uppity about, I'm gonna play what I wanna protest, not what you wanna hear from 1968, so he's already in protesting.
Good.
I ain't
All right.
marching
Never
My drum
anymore.
roll, please.
He never left.
Thank you. Very enthusiastic. The first winner of the evening is David L.
David himself.
Any of these fine prizes. He wants that, and I will display it proudly.
What a wise choice.
Thank you. There you go. We like people like that. Drum roll, please.
Yes.
Miss Wendy Walters. Fine winner of the evening.
Hey, doesn't she get Wendy's hamburgers or French fries?
Someone left these up
Pizza
here.
pie. Oh, I did. I was looking for it. You're welcome to pass them
I'll
around.
put them here.
No, I don't think anybody wants all of them.
Well, it's just a very quick map showing you where the Palestinians lived before.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like graphic illustration.
Shouldn't they go around? You're supposed to pass them around.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, split them up and pass them
And they're like,
Out in the land of the good.
oh,
Yeah, he's not gonna start. He's not gonna start.
I don't know. You can choose whatever you want.
He didn't
Like
even
whatever you
start.
want.
Either of these, any of those.
I hear she's clearing tables and she doesn't even get it.
But you have
I
this.
didn't read.
They crossed her name off earlier, you
Oh,
know, they get a
okay.
present.
No, that's Don Burns.
Isn't that a great chair? You know, that thing sticks out. You gotta pull it up and go on it.
I'd like them both. Drum roll, please. Jimmy.
Jimmy who?
No, not Jimmy who, Jimmy what?
Okay.
He's on
Jimmy
third, I think.
Mankind indeed.
What are we doing?
Either of those, any of those.
Any feature.
Okay, well, don't.
Oh, you got the drops.
I dropped a mini feature.
Yeah.
That's what I had in my hand.
Jimmy dropped it.
There's your name right there.
I have to listen to you in December. You're gonna wear me out. Where's this go?
Well,
Will you hurry up?
Where do I put it?
Put your name on it.
Bottom?
Thank you.
On the bottom.
Yeah.
how the hell are you?
Call him, Duncan.
On himself, there it is.
Call on himself. What are you on? Thank you.
Hey, the bird of paradise.
Some sort of keynote there.
What the?
Well, at least you'll be here to hear the second half.
Mayor Shillelagh, will you,
I know,
will
that's
you?
right. We'll get to go home.
You have to stick for it.
Now,
Don't make a
Philip left,
spectacle.
didn't he?
Don't make a
Philip left.
spectacle of yourself.
Making a quick myself. Okay, Alan Harris.
Oh, that's me.
Alan says,
These fine prizes are yours.
Well, the keynote, I read somebody else's phone.
Yes, but you
And
still,
then I
then
get
you
to
come back in the open, yes.
I'll do the
and you
keynote.
come back
Do the
and keep your
keynote.
fine, wrong fine.
Note. Oh, I gotta put Alan.
Richard Harris.
Ah,
Look
off the smoke,
Thank you.
the dog.
Garrett Murphy.
All the moldy icing flowing down.
Right. What did you take? What did you take, Karen?
I took a Don Brennan.
Non-bread.
Good choice. Good sir.
Prelude to a certain.
I didn't have a lot of places.
It's like a single up the middle, right into center field.
Marco Marks.
Move the line
Marco
along.
asked himself, what the hell is he doing here?
What the hell are you doing otherwise?
Stay like that.
I think I'm gonna replenish his supplies.
Marco asked.
Hold it there, Howard.
What's left?
Those two. But Jesus.
Sheer water. Sheer water.
That means you could see.
Peggy Watterson.
The devil in blue suede shoe, that's for me.
This is the remaining prize that you care to
Bring it back next week. We put it back.
No,
on.
number 9. Number 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this half as much as I did, because that meant you had some kind of fun. Give yourself a round of applause for being here. We appreciate that.
Great.
Next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat station. There is a chance that we'll have a sub-host next week. A chance for a host next week.
Can I make a first announcement?
Yes, you can. Announce it by him. I'm sitting down.
If you perchance look up in the sky this very evening, and it's clear enough, you might see a percent shower, as per said and said tonight. It starts tonight. The meteor shower, you're an old. It's very exciting. So if there's a shooting star, don't forget to say, "Yar, yar, yar, I wish you find out." Twinkle, twinkle, don't tingle your eye.
Thank you.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I think I'll go out to a bar.
Did everybody give me their, I know you did. Anybody get any other cards out there?
What am I giving you? What about?
If you read a poem by someone else. But you didn't.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. It is so glad.
But it was in here. I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh, well.
Oh, my.
No, well. Yeah.
We could do a 1 minute show. I
Sorry.
think you roll around crying legs and don't know what to do first. Oh, there's one you appreciate.
Well, you know, I usually try to do that. So I didn't know that it was here. All right, Peter. You know what? I really appreciate playing.
I don't know. I don't want to know when I ain't telling you. And then it just, I'll tell you all about it.
I mean, I said it's probably going to be important.
I mean, just goes on like that. I can't remember what the name was.
What do you need? I take the cards and I write it up. Thank you so much.
No, because people now like to
All right, Teddy, thank you. You're so cute. When I said that to some kid who's 20 next to my but I really like your baseball. Yeah, and I said you have a classic comic piece from the 40s, and it's like 80 years
Hey,
I'm sorry,
He said he would do it a long time ago. Then I lost track. He reminded me. I asked him once and he said yes, and then and I couldn't find him, get a hold of him. And he said that word to me through some intermediary. I said, well, tell him you're going to take care of the other part. And then
Remember that thing one time with the guy was a long time ago.
Oh, no, long.
Yeah, I can do that well.
I have this info if you want it.
Well, it's just, first time I came out of the heart, I was able to carry my.
Yeah, well, I didn't have the mud chops. It looked a lot different.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's fun, you know.
That looks okay. They say, well, that looks good to me this evening. I said, well, why are you saying that? Well, it's not me. You asked them why they were saying it. Yeah, and he says, well, wouldn't you want to check? And I'm thinking, well, if you want to check, I want to check. A week or so. This has been a couple of years ago. About a year and a half. Same thing. Oh, no, it's just like, I came in, they go, oh, it's great, go home. Or I go in, they go, it doesn't look great, go home. Well, it feels okay. I mean, the thing is, like, the skin is not, it's not normal. It still has problems. It's going to have to go in for more surgery. So we'll see. It looks like he's going to go for more surgery. Just a little. What was the problem? Oh, main leg bone. Started when I was a kid, fractured it, then it just went downhill. So it's been an adventure. It's something that's framed in my life overall. You seem like you're okay. Your wife knows about it. Oh, yeah. These are yours, aren't they?
Yeah,
she's okay. If I had not seen them, I would have forgotten. Nice to good to see you. All right, good. Take care. Yes. All right. Horrible. Good. Really good, man. I like the.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I forgot what they're called. They're called the mud chops. Mud chops.
I used to have these years ago. I'm going to go back to it just a bit, you know.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
A lot of people walk right by, like real close. A lot of people don't recognize me because I like to look so long.
Yeah, no, it makes you look different. Like, I can recognize it. It's still this part of your face. You know?
Yeah. If I have shades on, you know,
Right. You want to be in contact.
What do you think I got? What
I don't know. Take care, man. Hey.
I carried it down out here, so they have to take it down to New York. I'm sure
I see what you
was so,
all right. So there, man. The Giants lost again tonight. So
Well, they won last night, so they're.
yeah, 1-5. They got to start winning. They got to swing.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to make it.
They're going to do it every other year. I said that the first year, the second year they did it, and they're going to do it. I mean, it's easy to guess.
yeah, but then he was a very good receiver. So he was not very he had he's smart. He's just the only
Oh, see, that's the other point.
He's too smart to project. Yeah, I know. I think so you're not having such a burden by yourself. Yeah, no, it's not that. It's not that. It's not. I mean, it's not. That would be variety. I didn't really have that. I'm sorry. I meant you and he. You guys gonna talk?
And maybe I can. And you correspond with me?
With a email or something?
But did I cut you off?
No, you got somewhere you and some other people too, but gone. I can't remember it. I tried to bring it up.
Oh, you can't remember my email.
And it's not there. It's not in my. I went through all my contacts and it's not there anymore. And I don't. The only way I can catch it, I can get it through history if I can remember how it starts.
Karen M. Magoon.
Well, I keep a couple copies.
And Magoon.
M. Magoon, yeah, not Melander.
Double M.
I know, and it should be Melander because that's what people know me as. Then they
Yeah,
start
from the
thinking, oh, you're not
past.
Melander. I have another one, Dr. K. Melander, at pt2 that I never used, and I may start using
Pretty
that.
thumbnails.
Hey,
This is slow. We're going. Thanks. I'll get it. Karen. I set up with Karen M. It'll get it.
I'm gonna start using that other one because I got the Melander.
I'll send it to me and then I'll counter it.
Next week?
Are you taking a 44 home?
No, I'm going with Alan.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, that's right. That's my
Well, it has also something to do with the consistency of the two things.
Really?
That is a true story. It actually, back in, when I was 25 years ago, that actually happened. I bought something, and they came like together now, together. You had to buy them together. And I kept running out of the conditioner first, and I'm like, what do I do now? Okay, I'm going to sell it. We'll be here next week. I'll bring a kilo.
That's how I did it for years, and it batters me. I take the 4 weeks of course, right, Glen Park Bart, and you'll save an hour on the computer, you'll get a ride, you get the green views, and a seat, and calm, quiet, get it wrong.
So this guy got this.
Oh, it's a
the walk
sweet,
had just started.
that's why I was kind of
And
like,
looking for
have you
something
join me
like
going home.
I'm gonna go.
What do you live?
Chinatown, but I was gonna go to Glen Park to Glen Park.
Oh, I was gonna give Jimmy a ride. Yeah, you want me to give you a ride?
There you go.
Absolutely.
Way to go.
You got it, thank you.
You going to the bar?
No. Some of my own buddies. You're funny. You'll probably figure out.
Maybe it was just me. I was
So you can download it, you know.
You're happy. He goes like this.
Bob Cap, next guy.
See, he's a cabinet.
Bob Hanks always like.
Yeah.
Great filmmaker.
Yeah.
He directed. He's a director.
Did he direct it?
Yeah, he directed Warface's Dad with Robin Williams and God Bless America. He's a really good director, yeah.
All right, see you guys. Is this a revolution? Where did you head? I'm going with Alan to Glen Park.
I go to pt2.
Oh, you got it right. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, what are you sorry about? I mean, I'm glad I'm getting home early.
To the music, yes, I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
To a mock prelude?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Yes, thank you. How's it going?
It's okay. She's using, I have to watch her material. I'm going to take materials.
You taking materials with you?
Materials. Look at all these, are these more giveaway books?
All right, 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think I need to start contributing to your giveaway collection.
Well, yes.
All right, Teddy.
Good night, Ted.
Take care of yourself.
Stay sane. Thank you.